Welcome back, Curry Crew. Today we have an amazing recipe for you. It is not overly difficult. It's a very simple but delicious recipe. So today we're going to be making some amazing chocolate chip banana bread, and it's going to be filled with some amazing chocolate chips, some ripe bananas, and some crushed walnuts as well. So without any further ado, let's jump into our video. So guys, here are our ingredients for our banana bread. So in one smaller sized bowl, we have 1 3/4 cup of whole wheat flour, and you can use all-purpose flour also if you'd like. I'm just going with whole wheat because it's a little bit healthier. So into the larger bowl, we're gonna crack in 2 eggs. Now, if you don't eat eggs, you can search up some egg substitutes online. One substitute is banana. However, since we are making banana bread and we already have bananas in this recipe, adding more bananas might not be a great idea. So try and find some other options. I'll put a link in the description for some options that you can search up. Once you crack your eggs in, you can add in 1/4 cup of milk. And next we're gonna add in 1/2 cup of butter. However, before we do so, we're gonna melt it in the microwave. While that is melting, we're gonna add in our next wet ingredient, which is gonna be vanilla extract. So into the mixing bowl, add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then once your butter has melted, you can take it out of the microwave, give it a quick stir to remove any clumps, and then you can add it into your mixing bowl. Now we're gonna give all of this a nice whisk, and you wanna keep whisking until you have a uniform mixture. After you have a uniform mixture, add in 1/3 cup of sugar, and if you don't wanna use sugar, you can substitute it with some honey or some maple syrup or any other type of sweetener that you wanna use. Once again, give it all a nice little whisk so that our sugar gets incorporated and also so that it dissolves into the mixture. We don't want a really grainy batter, and that's why we want to make sure that our sugar is completely dissolved. So next we're going to take 3 ripened bananas and we will smush them and then add them into our mix. So as you can see here, when you try doing it by hand, your hands get really messy. So instead, take a bowl. Now with the bananas, you can see that this one is a little extra ripe. You can see the black spots on it, and this is good. This is what you want, because you want these black spots because it's going to make your banana bread really moist on the inside, and it's going to really add some amazing sweetness into your loaf. So if you bought bananas and you didn't eat them and they became like overripe and almost like black, perfect recipe for that. Instead of throwing out those bananas, you can turn them into something delicious. So the riper the banana, the better. So add in your smushed bananas and then give it all a nice whisk. And you want to keep whisking until you have removed all of the big banana pieces and it's more of a puree. So once you no longer have huge chunks of banana in your mix, set aside the big mixing bowl and move on to the smaller one. Into the flour, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and now comes our spices. So I'm adding in 1/2 teaspoon of ginger and allspice, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And last but not least, we're also going to add in a pinch of salt because you can't forget to season. Give it all a quick mix to incorporate the spices into the flour, because we want to make sure that the spices are incorporated all throughout the batter and not just in small pockets. Once our dry ingredients are ready, we're going to start adding them into our wet ingredients little by little while mixing. So you want to make sure you incorporate it a bit at a time and mix so that you can make sure that all your dry ingredients are properly mixed in and you're not only left with any flour pockets and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you don't have any dry parts to your bread. Keep mixing and adding until all of your dry ingredients have been incorporated and you're left with your final batter. Make sure to scrape the bottom and sides of the bowl to mix in any loose flour that may still be lingering around. Next, we're going to take in 1/4 cup of walnuts and just give them a quick smash in a bowl. You know, you can practice some of your karate skills. You know, just take out some of that anger in that bowl with your hand. You can also use a mortar and pestle if you want to be a little bit more professional. Now, once you break them into little smaller pieces, then you're going to add these walnuts into our batter. And we're also going to take a 1/3 cup of chocolate chips. Now, I'm only going to add in about 80% into the batter, and I'm going to keep some for the end to sprinkle on top. So once you add in the walnuts and the chocolate, give the batter one final mix to incorporate all of the mix-ins that we've added. In the meantime, our oven is preheating to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius. Once your batter is mixed, we're going to take a loaf pan and we're going to grease the inside with some unsalted butter to make sure our final bread does not stick, and then we will pour our batter into the pan. Once you have poured in all of your batter, take the remaining chocolate chips that you have and just randomly sprinkle them over the top of your batter. You can push them into the batter a little bit so they don't fall out. Once you are done, your pan is ready to be placed into the oven. We are going to bake the loaf for about 45 to 50 minutes or until you can stick a toothpick in it and it comes out clean and does not have any batter sticking to it. After about 50 minutes, this is what our loaf should look like once it's out of the oven. And as you can see, it has risen really nicely and it has a nice golden brown color to it. So we're gonna let this cool for about 10 to 15 minutes before we remove it from the pan. And here we have our loaf. So let's cut into it. Let's see how amazing it looks on the inside. Oh my god, guys, that looks so awesome. It's really moist and soft on the inside, so I know it's going to taste amazing, and I can't wait anymore, guys. I want to dig in. So guys, here is our final dish. I am going to take a bite and dig in. It is absolutely delicious because even though it has a really nice, little bit crispy outside, the inside is perfectly moist to go with a nice cup of coffee or chai or whatever it is that you want to drink with this. So you guys need to try this out at home. It's going to be your new favorite banana bread recipe, and keep on cooking.